That's why all the people are inclined towards going to a therapy or taking something out of them which is not coming out eventually by ease. So religion basically, it tends to sow the seed inside your inner self, which gives you the expression, which gives you the environment inside yourself of being happy, rather than just being from the outer self. So music is something which is going to feed that body, not just the outer body or the ears or the head or the brain.
Okay. Back to the subject at hand. How does the Swaminarayan faith address the Indian diaspora in regards to the possible cultural tensions between different generations, whereas the later generation experiences much less conventional Indian socialization?
In India?
Like in UK, like how do you address the younger generations who are Swaminarayan but who are growing up in like UK or the US, where
actually it was hard for us before when we didn't have any temples or we didn't have any communication. But today, when it comes to saints going there more often, doing the preachings, and we have this usual camps which I organize every few months and stuff.
In Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago is one place. And we also have many camps where all the temples would have the younger guys to come in and sit down and discuss religion and things they need to do amongst themselves. And there are saints in all the temples, either it may be the US or UK or Europe, any part, or Australia, New Zealand, whatever countries are there, or in India. So the conflict was kind of a bit, not a kind of conflict, but it was a bit, I could say, fearful 20 years back or 30 years back, where the first generation of people had gone away. And then their children, we were fearing that they didn't know where to go or what to do, because they didn't have the social background, and maybe their parents were working too hard because they had to change the country, they had to work for it, definitely had to work for that. But now it's been easier because of the temples and the social culture and the amount of people that are there. So they have a kind of support for each other. Sometimes even in universities, people are going to universities, the guys and the girls, and they think that maybe I'll be left alone, and then they have other people who are there with them, and they feel that no, I'm not just alone, I mean, I have other people. So it's not going to be like a person just carrying on, going away and just hanging and staying in the crowd. You still can survive if you do want to your own culture and tradition, and also hang on to your ethics or values of whatever your parents have given you. So, and it's not just in the US or UK or anywhere in the world, it's even in India. I mean, the influence of modern culture, as it's called a modern culture, which is not, but the influence of, say, the addiction in terms of drugs or alcohol abuse or tobacco, whatever it might be. I mean, that has been there since ages, since generations, or maybe thousands, I mean, millions of years. I mean, it was there since man was born. So those factors have always been remained, and the fight between good and bad has always been there. But people who have come down to being in the right roots and being in the right environment have been able to devote themselves or carry forward their own values, or the family values, or the religious values that they needed to. And today, because of the exposure that they have towards the other people, they can, internet maybe has a lot of benefits. person in the US would be communicating with the person in New Zealand. I mean, totally different time zones, like 24 hours, 12 hours. And they would be having similar problems, but then they would create a support group where they wouldn't feel alone, even if you're left in Greenland. That it's just you, there are other people, and then they can discuss things. So the technology today has helped quite a lot, and more than it has bettered the situation rather than making it worse.
Okay. And I'll give you a kind of follow-up question on that. With the reaching out, what inspired you to create or come up with the idea of the JH3 Swim and Orion TV series?
Actually, it was this revolution going on about television and stuff, and I mean, DVDs were on and CDs were on and television broadcasting and everything was going on. And I always had the feel that we should have some sort of an archive of what Swami Bhagwan did. The thing is, it's hard for the younger generation, maybe a person who is spending 5 hours or 6 hours in front of a television to take up a book and read it. Even if I see myself, I won't have time to sit and read that much into books. So what I do, I usually carry on my CDs, or maybe I just audiobooks or whatever into my car, because I spend like maybe 60% of my time of my 24 hours in my car. So it's better utilizing it. And then I felt that how are you going to impart the knowledge of what, how are the kids going to relate themselves of what Swami Bhagwan was? Maybe their parents would like give them stories or bedtime stories kind of things, where let's say once there was a king and once there was this and that. But then it's hard, it's just kind of entertainment rather than anything else until you see it virtually of something happening, because people today are so affected by the television and all the things. It's easier for them to inherit what has been there on the screen. So that was one of the reasons why I just thought about putting it on a tape and giving it to the kids, and at least they can have the basics of what it's all about, and it starts a spark in them to maybe go further. Because I see a lot of my friends of people of younger generation, the kids who are 4 or 5, we have this DVDs of the serial which has English subtitles, and maybe we have not dubbed it in English yet because it doesn't give the sense of literally what the language is all about. But it gives them the curiosity, plus then they kind of relate themselves as, yes, I'm a part of this whole thing. It's not just a make-believe kind of thing. And then once the seeds are sown and they grow up, then they have this inclination to go further inside and see and explore what the true religion and what Swami and Bhagwan's ethics were all about. So it just came up, and by blessing of Bhagwan it went through.
Great. I think that's pretty much it. I really appreciate your time today. Is there anything else you think that I may have left out? Any important things that you'd like to convey?
If you think it's fine.
Okay. Well, great. I very much appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.